Hey guys, welcome to my first ever podcast. Let's call it Kundalini Diaries. Let's name that the title of this podcast. So today I am feeling my nervous system go into flight and freeze and all these things. That just can be really painful when our nervous system starts going into these responses. And usually why our nervous system does this, even though I'm totally safe where I'm at, I have food, I'm everything's good, right? Well, relatively, in this moment, I'm so safe. So it's why is the nervous system in flight and freeze right now? And it's usually because a certain circumstance in our life is going to trigger an old wound. Like right now, I don't have a car. The car I did have imploded, basically. And it wasn't worth salvaging. And so I don't have a car. I live in rural Tennessee, the middle of nowhere. There's literally not Uber. And even if there was, I guess, it would cost so much money. It'd be silly. So there's this feeling of being trapped, of feeling suffocated. And to me, I feel like it's bringing up the pain I had when I was told to go to my room and shut the door and just shut up, or basically my mom, God bless her, she's a very awakened and conscious being now, and she's done so much inner healing, and I just love her to death. But she was a kid when she had me, and she had all kinds of trauma and wounds from her mom, and good Lord, I can only imagine if I had a kid at my mom's age, right? I can only imagine, if I had a kid now. Jesus. But yeah, so my mom, and she worked hard. She worked a lot of hours at this job teaching. So she had tons of kids to be worried about, not just her own. So she would come home and she would have, not a lot of space for me sometimes. Other times she was amazing, but sometimes, just not a lot of space. And so she would be easy to get upset at me, and part of me wouldn't be feeling seen. So then I would get mad, and I would probably just cause trouble just to get seen. And that would trigger my mom because she had just dealt with fucking kids all day, being wild and crazy. And then it would just be go to your room, and can't blame her. I totally get it. But for me as a child, I can just remember being in my room and just hurting so bad, and no one seeing me, and just screaming. And every time I would talk and make noise, my mom would say, "Kate, now you're going to stay in longer." And it was, oh my God, it was fucking torture. And so what's happening is I'm in this home now without a car, and it's bringing up those wounds. It's that part of me that feels trapped and fuck, we can't get in the car and go to the fucking park, we can't go on the hike. And where I live too, it has beautiful walking grounds. It's super scenic where I live, and there's a lot of room to walk here, but there's no walking trails from here. It's straight highway, rural Tennessee, And so it does get a little repetitive, just kind of walking the yard here. So this part of me is oh my God, we can't do anything. And it's getting triggered. And so this has been really hard to feel through. And there's been so many different types of things I've tried to do to remedy it that just haven't worked.